Hello and welcome back to my channel. This video is part of a series here at International Yankee English, where we will talk about how to write well, Writing Wednesday. You will learn everything from what academic English is, to how to write a thesis statement, to how to edit and proofread. So be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And let's get into today's video. Welcome to today's video on editing, revising, and proofreading. We will cover drafting, editing, revising, and proofreading. First, we will look at how to start a draft. You should always begin by doing detailed research. Take detailed notes and make a good outline or mind map. Then you can start with some free writing. For example, think about telling your friend what your topic is, and write a summary. Write everything that comes to mind so you can get an idea of the important aspects of your topic. Then you can go on by starting with a subtopic that you know well, or choose a main body paragraph idea and write that one first and move on from there. Next, let's have a look at how you can stay on track. Schedule both your writing and editing sessions. Look at your calendar and see when you have time to write and edit, and make sure that you schedule that. Don't slack and miss some sessions, and also don't spend an extra hour writing or editing, because that can also cause you to get off track. Try to save changing any small details or language errors until later. When you're writing a rough draft, you want to skip those details and focus on the big picture. If you focus on the small details, you may get too caught up in that and end up actually changing things that you're going to end up taking out altogether. That's a waste of time and energy. Next, you should make sure that you use your thesis statement and your outline to keep you focused and structured while writing. However, don't fixate on that. If you need to change your thesis statement or some of the main ideas, go ahead and do that. Now let's look at revising. To revise, as we see in the first little icon, means to re-see. It is a separate thing from editing. Looking at icon number 2 with the hourglass, make sure that you revise without editing to save yourself time. It is a separate process, revising and editing. Looking at icon 3, the light bulb, you should see your paper or your writing in a new light. Create some distance, whether it be by time or focusing first on something else for an hour and going back to it, whatever it is, and try to read it in a new medium. If you've been reading it in a Word doc the whole time, try printing it out and reading it there, or try copying and pasting it into an email or some other kind of way that you get a new outlook on your writing. Icon number 4 with the graph there says to make a checklist. Make sure you know your purpose, whether it's an assignment or you have to sell a product, whatever it is. You have to know your audience and your voice. You have to know your genre. You need to know if you need to follow certain referencing styles and whatnot. You need a thesis statement. You need to collect your thoughts in a well-organized structure. You need to make sure there is development and that there's unity between all of the paragraphs that formulate the cohesive paper that you are writing, or article or blog post or whatever it is that you are writing. And the last icon with the brain, 2 brains are better than 1. You should always give your work to somebody else for some feedback, ideally before you start editing too closely. They may give you some feedback that's really important, that you need to change big chunks of your paper. You may have overlooked something, and you've now spent all of these hours editing all of these language mistakes and trying to fix the style, but you actually need to change those sections. So it's always good to make sure you go through all 5 of these steps before you actually enter deep editing. Now, on to editing. You want to check, is my writing clear? Do I use complete sentences with correct separation of ideas in my sentences? Do I have clear modifiers and pronouns? Does my paper include any parallelism? And is my language exact, or is it vague and confusing? Next, you look at whether it is effective. Is the thesis statement clear and supported throughout? Are my main ideas clear and connected to each other? Is there some variety within the structure? Is the language concise, and do I use academic language and referencing and style? Then check for the errors, the spelling, the grammar, punctuation, typos, formatting, referencing, verb use, and data. Double check your data always, especially if you are giving sources for the data. Last but not least is proofreading. This is the final stage of your writing and editing. You check for any leftover silly mistakes or any major errors that sometimes made it through the first few rounds of the drafts. It is best to print your paper out and read it on hard paper. Also try reading it out loud so you can catch any mistakes that you may not have caught by reading it in your head. If you want to learn any more in more detail, then be sure to check out our academic English course coming in January 2021. There will be links in the description box that will help you find your way there. Thank you for watching today's video as part of our Writing Wednesday series here at International Yankee English. I also post weekly videos every Saturday called Study Saturday. I have a Facebook support group. I run free conversation classes every month on Zoom, and I also am launching my official website as well as Patreon account where you can get different levels of English support. So be sure to check that all out if you haven't. I will have links below in the description box. And I hope to see you next time at either Study Saturday or Writing Wednesday. Bye!